Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl D Dun Elizabeth, and here I am today dropping some more gems because you know we are on the road to success when it comes to our health and our fitness, and whatever it is that you want to achieve, it can be done when you test your strength. So
Drop the roof and let the smoke clear. I got diamonds doing pussy slides in both ears. Dice rolling on the Las Vegas strip tonight. Slip that on and we might miss the fight. Fuck the night, I keep the wallet in my shorty bag. You know she wants mine when she tattoo that ass. I'm a lover boy, she love the toys. Keep it coming, you a rider. Just that roll myself a day and count my figure shit. It's that stepping out, I feel like I'm that nigga shit.
I'm going to give you guys some tips today. So I'm going to be giving you guys 3 tips on how I lost my weight. I know I have talked about this a lot, but I'm going to give you the 3 basic tips that literally have got me from starting to where I am today. That's what's keeping me going. That's what's keeping me on my goals. That's keeping me pushing. Even though I'm not perfect, I live and I learn throughout my whole journey. And so I like to just bring my experiences, my knowledges to you guys to help you guys get started on your journey. Or if you hit a little wall, you don't really know how to get back on track, go ahead and keep watching so that we can get you back on track. So before we get started, y'all know I kind of previously talked about coming off of my prep diet, getting ready. I just finished my competitions, so now I'm in a reverse diet. And so, of course, like just being on prep, I was not eating a lot of vegetables just because I had a very, very low calorie amount. I had a strict plan that I was following. I wasn't really eating a lot of vegetables. I was eating for convenience. And even just in my regular daily eating, don't get me wrong, I eat a couple of bell peppers and onions, but I'm not really big on vegetables, which is kind of a bad thing. But no worries, no worries. So I wanted to make sure that I'm still getting in those nutrients that I need. So I've tried out this product, Teami Reds. Woo woo. Because y'all know I'm already rocking with the greens. So I tried out this product just to see if it gave me that energy, just to say if it gave me that boost that I needed to keep going. Because even though I'm done prepping for the competition, I still want to keep my momentum up. I still want to keep my momentum going. So I've been trying this product for about 3 days now. Fasted. That's the first thing that I drink in the morning before I go do my cardio. And what's crazy is, so far I've been feeling on top of the world. Like I've been feeling like, okay, you know, take my scoop of my reds, mix it with my greens. Now your girl ready to go do cardio. So if you're a person like me that don't really prioritize vegetables, like I prioritize protein, but I don't prioritize vegetables as much, but that's okay. We're a work in progress, gonna work on that. But yes, I definitely suggest that you go ahead and try these out. And y'all already know how I do my greens. I've been mixing it with my greens, and don't forget to add the Crystal Light, because the Crystal Light really just makes the flavor pop even more. So yeah, let's get right into these 3 tips. So tip number 1, very, 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 very important. The most important tip is going to be nutrition. If you're a person that's looking to drop body fat, if you're a person that's looking to lose weight, a caloric deficit is going to be your answer. And I know people kind of throw this term around like caloric deficit, caloric deficit. You want to eat less than you're burning off, and which is a term that we hear all the time, but it's like it's easier said than done. So with the caloric deficit, you don't want it to be super duper drastic, because then it's not sustainable. And I've learned that being on a journey, you want it to be sustainable as possible, less restrictive as possible. The less is restrictive, the more sustainable, the more likely you are to stick to it. So if you're a person that's been looking like, I don't even know where to start with my caloric deficit, I have plans that will get you started on your journey. And the key is, when you get your caloric deficit, you have to stick to it. You have to very, very, very stick to it. I always suggest getting a food scale so that you can measure your food, making sure that you're hitting the numbers spot on. Or even if you're a person that just recently hit a plateau, looking into tracking your macros or tracking your calories can help you determine what needs to be adjusted for you to keep making that progress. So I started with my caloric deficit. Like when I started my journey, that was my main focus, making sure that I was in a caloric deficit. I only worked out maybe 2 days a week, so I wasn't really big on exercise until it started making me feel good, and then I started working out more often. But I literally downloaded my FitnessPal and focused on making sure I tracked my calories every single day. Your caloric deficit can be adjusted to for you to lose a half a pound a week. It can be adjusted for you to lose 1 pound, 2 pounds a week. You want something drastic, it can be adjusted for that as well. It's literally the basis that you use to see results when it comes to fat loss, to when it comes to cutting. Being on prep, I was even in a caloric deficit. That literally is the key, the scientific method to get you to where you want to be in your weight loss journey. So tip number 2 is going to be exercise. So I always recommend people just get active. Like you get on Instagram, you be like, okay, maybe I need to be doing this, or maybe I need to be doing that, or maybe I need to go to this workout class, and maybe I need to go do this workout class. But literally, the exercise that is most convenient for you, that's most fun for you, it could be dancing, it could be walking, it could be going to a twerk class. The most exercise that's easy for you to do, not stressful for you to make it happen, that is going to be the exercise for you. Of course, I always recommend throwing in some type of strength training and resistance training, just to make sure that you building as much muscle, keeping as much muscle as possible while you on the journey. But always start off small and then work your way up, because when you take baby steps, it allows you to adjust slowly. Most times we like to throw ourselves into the journey, go all in, go hard for like 5-6 days, and then by the time the 6th day come, you burnt out. You can't keep going, and that's not what we want. Remember, sustainable, less restrictive. If you want that accountability, find your workout class. If you need somebody to be there with you, find your workout partner that's going to hold you accountable, because that's going to be the key. Doing something that's easy for you to do. I always tell people, when it comes to figuring out what plan works for you, it's the plan that's easiest for you to commit to. And we're not talking about the just simple mental barriers. Like, they're not simple, but the mental barriers that come with just trying to stay consistent, trying to stay dedicated, those are different. But the easiest way for you to stay consistent and stay dedicated is finding a plan that's easy for you to commit to, easy for your lifestyle, easy for your work schedule. If you know you have a tons of things to do, then maybe working out 5 days a week won't be the best plan for you. If you know you haven't worked out in like months or years, starting your journey and working out 4 or 5 days a week might not be the best approach to start off with. So always taking it easy, doing things that you love when it comes to exercising, and staying consistent with it. So now the last tip, that's going to be the most important tip, is staying consistent. I think consistency is the hardest thing for anybody to master, because I know even with myself, being consistent is a task. Like, I have my moments where I'm like on 10, then I have my moments when I'm like, okay, yeah. So one thing that I have noticed that has allowed me to stay consistent is always keeping my why in mind. Once you start, like, most times that consistency that you're looking for, that motivation that you're looking for, comes with action. Like, don't always expect to wake up one morning and feel like, okay, today is the day that I'm going to start. Because if you waiting on that moment just might not ever come. And it's always important to always start before you're ready, because the more you work towards something, the more easier it becomes for you to do. Even if it's mentally tough, even if you fall out of it a little bit, if it's something that you have done for so long, you keep working towards it, eventually it becomes a habit. And that's one thing that I always express and I stress to anybody that's looking to start a journey. Always think, I'm finna create healthier habits. And when you create those healthier habits, those old habits got to go. They gotta go. Because no matter how hard you work towards a new version of yourself, you cannot bring those old habits back into a new lifestyle. And I think that's the most challenging part about being consistent, because your body is literally working against you when it comes to losing weight and being on a journey. It's literally fighting for you to stay the same. So you have to fight harder to make that change, which comes with being consistent. And that also goes back to finding a plan that works for you. If your plan is fitting in your schedule, if your plan is not super duper restrictive, like if you have a caloric deficit that still allows you to go eat a cheesecake if you want it, that still allows you to have a cookie from time to time if you want it, that plan is going to be easier to stick to versus a plan that tells you you're going to eat chicken, rice, and eggs every single day. you're more likely to not stick to that because it's restrictive. So always keep these 3 tips in mind when you're thinking about starting your weight loss journey, because these 3 tips, caloric deficit, easing into exercise, finding a plan that works for you, and staying consistent. Consistency comes with finding a plan that's most sustainable. And with that being said, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I will drop in the details below how to purchase your plan and get started on your weight loss journey, because I'm here to help. I'm here to give tips. If you have any more questions on how to get started, how to stay consistent, drop them below. I'm going to be giving you guys more content on how to stick to your journey. And with that being said, y'all already know the drill. Come back and mess with your girl. Peace out.